Alright, take two on this thing. I did this review once already and it rejected it because it was too long. I tried, it was a little over 10.5 minutes. So let's get on this and let's do this. This is my review of that Gerber profile that I picked up about a week ago. Been banging on it pretty hard here lately. I'm pretty impressed with it. For the price that I paid for this knife, I paid less than $19 for this knife. A friend of mine has one of these, and he paid well over $25 for his, but he bought his online too. So this is a nice little 4-inch blade. Not a bad little utility knife. I've got a couple videos out there. I was banging on this thing pretty hard. I'm impressed with the way it works. It has held its the paint on there pretty well. Gerber says this is a titanium nitride coated blade, so for corrosion resistance. But it's a 440 stainless steel blade, so it's pretty corrosion resistant. I have not touched the blade up yet, but it's still pretty sharp. I'm impressed with it. It's held an edge real well, and I banged on it pretty good. It's not the thickest blade in the world, but for a little utility knife, everyday carry, yeah, I could see that. It weighs 6.1 ounces. I like the way that the scales are on this. They're rubber. They're not G10, they're not polymer, they're rubber scales. And I like that. They're a good gripping scale. Your fingers don't slip on this knife very easily. Real aggressive jimping on the top. Could be a little bit taller to catch your thumb a little bit better. But with the guard here and then the jimping on the top, if you actually do a thrust into whatever you're doing, I don't see a problem. I don't see your finger slipping over the blade edge and hitting the edge and cutting the tendons, cut your finger real bad or whatever. I know Gerber ground the top of this blade. You see how thin that is? I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. They ground the top of it here. Probably to cut down on the weight a little bit. I'm thinking the reason it weighs so much is because of the scales, rubber scales. The knife's pretty balanced, but I'm thinking it's a little handle heavy. If I said that right, yeah, that makes sense. It's worn, like I said, it's worn real well. You can see it's marked up a little bit. And I'm by far not done banging on this thing. I've been carrying it every day and using it with whatever little utility jobs I've had. Normally I would use one of my clip-ons that I carry every day also, but I've been purposely using this instead, giving it the rundown on little utility uses here. The overall length of this thing is 8.56 inches. The blade length is 4 inches. It's a drop point blade. Like I said, I'm really impressed with the knife that I didn't even pay $19 for. I like it. It's a good little knife. I would classify this as, yeah, a survival knife. You could survive in the wilderness with this thing if you actually positively had to, as far as fire building, batoning, some firewood, kindling. I wouldn't go chopping down a tree with it. There's not enough heft in the blade there to do that with. But if you were in a plane wreck and you happen to have this or whatever, which I doubt because they wouldn't let you on a plane with it, but if you happen to be lost in the wilderness and this is all you had, yeah, you could make it with just this and just the bare necessities, and this is a good knife. I would consider this a good enough knife to be out in the woods with. Normally I carry something a little bit bigger, longer blade, if I'm out banging around or staying over in the woods or whatnot. But this will get the job done. Whatever you need it to do. So far, it's done whatever I wanted it to do. The scales are removable. The Allen head screws, and actually they look more like torque wrenches. So you can take the scales off if need be. Say you're in the wilderness and you need to go hunting, you can take the scales off of this knife also. Or if you wanted to clean it because you got the knife wet and you're worried about water being behind the scale, you can take it off, dry it out, or let it air dry, whatever. it's held in that. I'm impressed with how well it's held the edge on this. But since it is 440 stainless, I've had other 440 stainless blades that are pretty easy to keep an edge on. You just fine tune the edge a little bit on a I've got a diamond stone and some real fine stones that I use. I just freehand them. I'm not the be all end all guru on sharpening, but I can do okay with it. Enough to keep my blades trucking down the road when I need them to, if I need to touch up the blade edge a little bit. If I actually have to reprofile the thing, I will take it to the local knife sharpener here where I live, and they will do it for me for a reasonable price. The sheath is just a junk, or it's not junk, it's a pretty sturdy sheath. It's just a nylon, I don't know, a nylon Cordura. It's not only when you think it's a Cordura sheath. The website I looked at said it had a plastic insert, but I'm not feeling no plastic insert in here. It doesn't have any tactical quick release thing on here. You may notice that I have the retaining straps behind the sheath here. I do that on knife sheaths like this purposely. Reason being is when you first get your knife sheath and if they're buttoned over like this, they have a tendency to get in the way when you're drawing your knife out of your sheath. And as if you haven't noticed already, that when I unbutton that, now that they've stayed like this for a while, they're gonna tend to stay out of the way when you pull your knife out and put it back into your sheath. They're not going to get in your way, but they are still functional because the sheath will not hold the blade into the sheath without those on. And now when you flip open your knife or your retaining straps, they will fall out of the way, and now you have easy access to pull your knife out. And then when you want to put it back in, you're not fighting with pulling those out of the way. I do that on, like I said, here's my Cold Steel GI Tonto, and I did do that with this one also. This one kind of locks into the sheath, however, a little bit. It's got, see how that locked in? And it will stay in there a little bit easier, but I do use the retaining straps if I'm out bumping around the wood, so it doesn't accidentally fall out or whatnot. But now see this one, they stay over real well. Put your retaining straps back on it, and now it's retained in your sheath. Pop it open, they're completely out of the way, and now you have easy access to pull out your knife for doing whatever with. I normally carry it with like this, however. This usually thrown in my pack until I actually need this big blade here. Something like this though I would wear on my belt. It's small enough that I can wear this on my belt. But for the price I pay for this, I cannot complain whatsoever. I am impressed with this. I've got a couple videos posted of doing some banging on this knife, and I'll keep banging on this knife as time progresses, and if it fails, you guys will know about it. I'll make sure you guys know about it. But for the price, if you're looking for a decent knife, my buddy, he uses his for skinning deer or gutting deer. He uses it for deer hunting. This knife also comes with a gut blade on it, or a gut hook, I should say, on the end of on the top side of the blade. That one I think was 20 bucks, I think. But I recommend you don't get it online because, like I said, my buddy paid extra money for his. He was kind of upset when I told him how much I paid for mine. But he has the same exact knife, and he paid about $10 more for his getting it online. But for a good little all-purpose utility knife, hey, this is the way to go here. High value, or low cost, real high value as far as usefulness. As you see, the paint wears very well on it. I will eventually get it to wear off, I'm sure. It's like a mission now. I'm going to get it to wear off because I'm going to use the crap out of this thing now. And I will eventually have to touch the edge up, I'm sure. But so far, so good. And if you're looking for a good fixed blade knife, Gerber did a good job on this knife. I'm out of time. I don't want to run this one over, so I don't have to redo it again. So I'm gonna, if you have any questions, let me know. I got more videos coming. I'm hoping to make it to the gun range this weekend. No promises on that. Time will tell as far as this breaking. Time will tell us if I can make it to the gun range and find some ammo between now and then. Okay, that's it. More to come. I got a couple backpack reviews I've been working on. I've been dreading because there's a lot to go over on those two things. But I'll get them done eventually, so bear with me. Talk to you guys later. Bye.